Hi, today's blab is basically a Q&A. So for anyone watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or watching the replay, I am just doing a Q&A. It's being recorded via Blab, which is Blab.im, and to the right of my screen, I have a comment section where people can ask questions about Walk for Wellbeing. So Walk for Wellbeing is a 12,000-mile solo charity walk, which is, it has the aim of raising awareness of mental health and mental illnesses. And also I will be raising money as I walk for two mental health charities within the UK. One being on the mainland, and it's called Mind. So anyone in the UK has probably heard of Mind. And also a local suicide prevention charity called PIPS, who I have fundraised before, and they are an absolute joy to fundraise for. And they do such important work, both of them do. So if anybody has any questions about Walk for Wellbeing, feel free to ask them in the comments on the right, or if you're on your mobile, it'll be down below. And similarly, if anyone's watching the replay, feel free to tweet me at Megan Haste or at Walk for Wellbeing. It's not Walk for Wellbeing, because Twitter has a character limit in names, so there's no G on the end on Twitter. Or if you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, feel free to leave a comment down below. So, any questions? Sorry, I had to mute myself there. So, yeah, any questions? How long do I think it'll take me? Probably around 3 years. So it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. In theory, I should be averaging about 15 minutes per mile. But what you have to take in mind is I am not a walker. I have no fitness level whatsoever. So I'm probably going to be averaging, to begin with, maybe half an hour for a mile. So, and it's common to experience issues with your knees when you are walking so much and so often. So my mileage is unpredictable. So the length of the walk is variable, but approximately 3 years. Any other questions? And also, for anyone watching live, if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, there's a button below the topic that says "Tell a Little Bird." That will send out a tweet about this blab. Feel free to press that. Hi, Phil. Phil, do you want to jump in? Do I have a route? Yeah, I have a route worked out. Yeah, I will be starting up at Benone, which is on the very north coast of Northern Ireland. And I will be working my way anti-clockwise around the island of Ireland, round to Belfast, at which stage I will cross over on a ferry to Liverpool, and then I will walk clockwise around mainland UK, so up around the left-hand side for England, round Scotland, down through Scotland again, through England again, down around Wales, back up to Liverpool, and then I will cross over on a ferry to the Isle of Man, walk either direction around the Isle of Man. I'll probably go clockwise, and then I will get ferry from the Isle of Man back to Belfast, and complete the walk from Belfast round to Benown, anti-clockwise again. So that's my route. No problem, Phil. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to jump in, you can. I'll make you co-host and you can jump in. You can let yourself in as I press the wrong button. So, yeah, that's my route. So the route originally, I don't know how the route came about. I think the reason I'm going to start off by walking anti-clockwise is because, no problem, Phil, is because that way it makes more sense because I can start at Benown. No problem, Phil. Ask away. So, yeah, fundraiser. I'm currently crowdfunding. I have a target of £4,000, which will cover food for 3 years. 3 years, not 4 years. Hopefully, if I am able to stick to my budget of £3 per day, maximum £4 per day, but if I go £4 per day, then it takes me over the £4,000. So I will also be putting my money aside for me. What will that actually buy per day? 3 tins of food. So soup, beans, whatever, whatever I can get my hands on. So I will be living hand to mouth. Do I have a support team walking or traveling with me? No, I do not. I have friends. Who I will be meeting at various points, mainly in England. That's I believe. It could well be entirely in England. Miles with me when I meet them. So that will be the height of my company. That, and I'm happy enough for supporters to walk with me for a few miles at a time, as long as they are fit and healthy. Yeah, Phil, I'm going to be linking it to my GoFundMe and also to Facebook and YouTube, so it will be fully accessible. So the link for GoFundMe is www.gofundme.com/walk for wellbeing. For anyone watching live, Phil has just posted the link. Thank you. How am I going to ensure good self-care throughout this venture? That's a really good question. It's going to be tough. And what generally happens, as far as I'm aware, is supporters very, very kindly offer up their homes, and they occasionally cook a meal or offer a shower. I'm also hoping to get into, public swimming pools or whatever, to have the odd share here and there, if possible. Yeah, so that's about the height of that. That's something I'm still in the middle of planning various things. Thank you to everyone who's just tweeted. So yeah, self-care will be difficult. When do I start? Apologies, the phone is currently ringing. Should stop in a second. Hopefully. Or not. There we go. I'm aiming to start in August 2016. So August next year. So I currently have 10 months. Stairs don't answer phones, by the way. No, I know, Phil. I wasn't about to answer it. I don't answer phones. I hate phone calls. If I don't know who's phoning, then I let someone else answer. So, or about free to go to voicemail. Training. Oh, training. Okay. Training. I haven't actually started training. I don't know when I'm going to start training. Possibly in New Year. I'm currently getting a few financial commitments out of the way, and then I will be purchasing walking trousers and boots solely for the purpose of training. I'm hoping to get a solid 8 months of training, 6 to 8 months of training in ahead of the walk. I'm very lucky in that I live about 4 miles away from a towpath entrance. If I walk 4 miles into Moira, then I can get on the towpath and walk, I think, up to 36 miles. No, that's the Lisbon towpath. I'm not sure, but I'll be using that for training. How did I get in contact with the two charities? Okay, well, Mind, I emailed straight off the bat. I just sent them an email, said, look, I'd like to do this for you. Just never had any contact with Mind before, never fundraised for them before, but I know that they're an incredible charity and do a lot of good work, and I am happy enough supporting them. I now have a contact within the fundraising team who is going to support me throughout my fundraising, who's very kindly sent me a fundraising pack, which I have misplaced, but I will find it again. And in the new year, I will be getting onto publicity, which is when the fundraising pack will come in handy, because there are lots of rules with it being a big charity that I have to follow. And I have to follow them to the letter, otherwise there will be trouble, I assume. I don't know. As for PIPS, which is based in Northern Ireland, I have fundraised for PIPS before on 3 occasions. Yeah, 3 occasions. I have done 2 abseils, or for those of you in the UK, in the US, I have done 2 abseils, but in the US that is called rappelling, I believe. Basically, I stood at the top of 2 very tall buildings and went down the side of them with ropes in a harness. And then I also did a firewalk, which involved walking across hot coals. So I've fundraised for them before, and I've since interviewed a service user as well, which was very emotional and an incredible experience. So yeah, I knew that they would be my local charity to fundraise for. Why solo walking? Can people joining you? Yeah, people can join me for a few miles at a time. I would not want anyone joining me for multiple days unless they were experienced walkers, because that could have implications that could slow me down, or if they were to get injured, then that would be crushing if they got injured. So I wouldn't want anyone joining me for multiple days, but I'm happy enough for people to join me for a day at a time and walk a few miles with me. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, how long have we been going? 15 minutes. I'll do another 10 minutes maybe. So creative places you reach. Yeah. I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/wellbeing. So, I've just seen Phil's question. I will get to that, Phil. So yeah, I have that page, so followers all across the UK will be able to follow my progress, or process, as I said in one video, progress, and will be able to, offer help. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I will work something out with you on that front. Has anyone offered to help along the way, coastal charities with boat trips, etc.? Well, I am currently a volunteer with a UK charity, which I'm not going to name just at this stage, because there's a lot more logistics need to be worked out there. There is the potential, it's a boating charity, I can say that much. There's the potential for that to help with boat trips as well. And they also have various, I don't know what to call them. They have various bases throughout the UK, a lot of them dotted along the coastline, them being a coastal charity, a boating charity. A lot of them are based along the coastline. They have offered to help, as have another organisation. I believe it's a charity. I'm not entirely sure, but another organisation has there's the potential for help from them as well. So that will be wonderful if that all goes according to plan. So yeah, there's a lot of. Also, in the new year, I will be starting to reach out to more companies for help. So, ferry companies and such will be hearing from me in the UK in the new year. I can't talk tonight. Stop laughing at me, Phil. Will use Blab to talk with people? Possibly, but also possibly not, because I don't know what phone I will be using during the trip. I shall not be taking my iPhone, simply because the battery is unreliable, and also data usage. Phil will be able to tell you all about data usage and Blab. So you're going to sort me out for data, are you? I'm thinking I'm going to use a data SIM rather than a normal SIM, simply because that way I can use. Yeah, a MiFi could be a good way to go, but that will help with various things. I don't know if you can hear the chaos in this house at the moment. Yeah, MiFi could be useful. So, if anyone has any final questions, then work away, and I'm probably going to stop recording after if anybody has any questions. How long will it last, and when am I starting again? Yeah, it'll last. Well, the aim is to do it within 3 years. There is the potential for it to run over or happen quicker if I do the right training and manage to build up my knees a bit, because the knees tend to be the issue for walkers, I have noticed. I will be carrying knee supports with me simply for that reason, to try and keep my knees in shape, because when you're doing long distance, I mean, that's 12,000 miles. When you're doing long distance, it does have an incredible impact on your knees. It's bad. I've seen people have to stop for weeks. What drives me forward, and why is it important to me? What drives me forward? I put a lot of thought into this last night. What drives me forward is my motivation as well what's important to me. I have suffered and do suffer from various mental illnesses myself. Since the age of 13, I have suffered with anxiety and I guess periods of depression as well. And I also in recovery from self-harm. I've been in recovery for a year and a half now. April 2016 will mark 2 years of recovery, which is incredible. And as a result, I realised the importance of suicide prevention charities and mental health charities. I say that early intervention is key, and that's where the awareness raising comes into it, because I think once you raise awareness and get the discussion going, that starts education. And when education starts, then you immediately begin to give people a toolbox with which to, a metaphorical toolbox with which to handle any issues that they may encounter, whether it be themselves suffering or friends suffering. They start to acquire skills that will allow them to identify issues. Personally, when I started to struggle, I didn't know what was happening, especially with anxiety as well. With anxiety tends to come panic attacks, and it's not uncommon for people to say that when they first encountered their first panic attack, they felt like they were dying. So if you can imagine that, not knowing what's going on and feeling like that, it gets pretty scary. So what drives me is trying to ensure that people do not have to go through that alone, because I didn't know who to talk to. On one occasion when I did try to reached out to a friend who happened to be the wrong person to reach out to, that led to rumours being spread and bullying occurring, which I think came from a lack of education. Because I think if people realise that things like self-harm are not a result of attention seeking, then that education can be absolutely crucial to stopping people being stigmatized and attacked for how they are feeling. Phil, do you have any materials, posters, PDFs I can use for putting up in my local area to help fundraise? I haven't actually put together posters because there are various steps that I have to take when creating posters that I haven't quite worked out yet. Yeah, I'm working on it. I am working on it, Phil. I am working on it. What I have to do is I have to make sure, specifically with mind, that I follow various instructions given to me within the fundraising pack. Then it has to go through an approval process. So I'm not going to say too much more on that because I have concerns, but it shouldn't be an issue. So, yes, so I am working on that. I just have to make sure I stick to the rules. So, yeah, I will be working on posters. For the time being, I do have a little banner that I use on Facebook, which I cannot retrieve at the moment. But if you go to my Facebook page, which I will post in in the comments here. Walk for Wellbeing. Be nice. Maybe this or next time. Yeah, I will be opening the seat after the recording for people to join in and have a face-to-face conversation. I just wanted to get a recording to post to YouTube and Facebook for people to see what I'm planning, because I know a few people have raised concerns about why they couldn't see what I was doing in the run-up. There were concerns about the lack of evidence of planning. Obviously it's very early in the game yet, so there is going to be very little evidence, but I'm hoping that this Q&A will kind of put people's minds at ease and show that I am considering things. I haven't just walked into this blind, so to speak. I have put consideration into it. I think it's the fact that I wasn't particularly open about my wishes to do the walk that has raised these concerns. It looks, from an outsider's perspective, I can imagine it looks like a spur of the moment, on a whim decision to go out and walk 12,000 miles. And even though I'm not quite that impulsive. So anyway, next update will probably be within the next 2 weeks. I haven't set a date yet, but I don't tend to set dates for these things. I should. Maybe I should do like a monthly blab or something in the run up to it. That said, I would only get like 10 blabs in before the walk. I can't believe how close it is. But maybe a fortnightly blab. Just for people to ask questions and find out how to support me. So thank you all for joining in and taking part and asking questions. And make sure you follow me if you're watching the live stream. There should be a button up here that you can press to follow me around this area, and follow me. Watch out, there will be more Walk for Wellbeing blabs. And yeah, so thank you for taking part. I'm going to stop recording in 3,